Rage 2 was a sequel nobody expected, but is it a sequel you should check out? Today I'm going to run down what we know and you need to know about Rage 2 so you can make an informed decision before release. Rage 2 is being developed by Avalanche Studios alongside id Software and uses the Apex engine, which was created by Avalanche themselves. When it comes to the plot, Rage 2 continues the story within the same continuity as the first game, but 30 years into the future in the year 2165. So the question is, do you need to have played the first to understand what's going on? Well, thankfully no. You don't have to play Rage to enjoy the sequel. You will place in the hands of a brand new protagonist called Walker, one of the last Rangers around, who seeks vengeance against an organisation called the Authority and to ultimately put an end to them. Although the Authority returns as a main antagonist from the previous game, the story will feel self-contained, making it accessible to all players. With that said, they have confirmed there'll be plenty of homages, references and some returning characters you'll recognise if you experience the first. They have also promised the ending will be much more satisfying than the first, which was quite disappointing, finishing on a cliffhanger and jarringly stopping you exploring the world afterwards, at least in the case of the base game. In terms of the graphics and tone, the sequel sports a far more vibrant colour palette. Looking back at the original, it consisted of mostly different shades of brown, reminiscent of many games from the last generation such as Gears of War. Rage 2 on the other hand looks like an amalgamation of titles like Borderlands, Far Cry New Dawn, Far Cry Blood Dragon and Doom all squished together. While the game does contain a strong emphasis on the story, as previously talked about, it doesn't appear to take itself too seriously, placing the over-the-top action and zaniness at the forefront. When it comes to the gameplay itself, you have a completely load-free open world to explore however you choose after the first 30 minutes, which is a big improvement over the original as it wasn't quite open world, having connected areas and hubs you'd move between. As the marketing trailers have made a real point of, if you can see a vehicle, you can drive it, and there's a number of different types to make use of, even including gyrocopters that will help you traverse the world as well as help you in combat. Of course, being a shooter, there'll be a range of weapons and abilities to take advantage of, from more standard weapons like the combat shotgun and assault rifle, to more crazy weaponry like the hyper cannon, the grav dart launcher, and making its return from the first, the wing stick, a boomerang-like weapon that can be hurled at enemies. On top of firearms, you'll also have abilities called nanotrites that really ramp up the carnage, such as Shatter, which will blast enemies away or rip armor off of bigger foes, Vortex, a grenade that sucks enemies towards it then blasts them into the air, Barrier, which acts as a shield, and Slam, that allows you to perform a powerful ground pound. Making the most of these abilities and chaining them together can make for some serious mayhem. If that wasn't enough, you'll also be able to activate an ability called Overdrive once you've filled up a meter that pushes you and your weapons beyond its limits, regenerating your health, dealing more damage, granting you new abilities, and making enemies drop better loot. For those wondering if there'll be some form of competitive multiplayer or co-op, which the original had a few modes based around, it's been confirmed there won't be any multiplayer of any kind, to which Tim Willits, the studio director of id Software, told VG 24/7 in regards to that, "We feel like we're delivering enough value for what players get, so make of that what you will." Personally, I don't think multiplayer is necessary for a single player centric game. Often it can be needlessly tacked on, but you may feel different, so it's worth noting. Despite not containing any multiplayer component, it will have some kind of social element, and although they haven't specified exactly what kind, I imagine it will mean, at the very least, some sort of leaderboards. If you're like me and at least in your mid-20s, you'll no doubt remember a lot of games in the past had a variety of wacky cheat codes you could input to alter a game in different ways. Sadly, as time has gone on, cheat codes have been pretty much slowly wiped out in favour of microtransactions. However, Rage 2 will in fact actually have cheat codes which you can unlock using in-game currency or a select few immediately if you buy the deluxe edition. For example, one of the cheats called He's on Fire has NBA Jam voice talent Tim Kitzrow narrate your every action as you perform kills. While all the cheats haven't been disclosed, we know of a few others such as Get Good, which makes enemies explode in one hit, Son of 4, which encases you in electricity, killing enemies that get close, Clegg Support, which spawns in the character Clegg Clayton as a friendly AI companion, and Phoenix Rejector Seat, which yes, is the opposite of an ejector seat, keeping you on the ground but propelling your vehicle into the air. You can pick up Rage 2 very shortly on the 14th of this month for the PS4, Xbox One and PC. The game will naturally support the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, however surprisingly it will run at 1080p on both, instead prioritising frame rate running at 60 FPS as opposed to 30 FPS on the standard PS4 and Xbox One. For a game built around fast action, this is probably the most sensible call, although having a choice between resolution and frame rate would have been the best of both worlds in my opinion. The original Rage was really hyped before its launch, and while certainly not bad, it definitely failed to live up to expectations and captivate gamers as much as hoped. Initially when Rage 2 was announced, my impressions were quite tepid. However, as more and more has been shown, my interest has certainly grown. Will it turn out good? I think it's anybody's guess at this point, however it shows promise at the very least. That's it for today. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell icon for a notification each time my video goes live. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.